Hi, it's Rachel, and true to form I've not put out a video for several months, but I have been stitching. I do have some finishes to share, which is an improvement on last year where I had no finishes at all, and not very many but a few. And I'm also going to do a WIP Parade and show some kits that are recent purchases as well. Okay, so I'm going to turn my camera around and show you the finishes to begin with. So the first project I'm going to show you on my finishes is Cute Witch. This is a purchase from my Bobbin, I think. And this has been a long time overdue. It's quite a small project really, but it's quite intense stitching, so there's quite a lot of back stitch. But I really love how it turned out. I love this little rat carved into the pumpkin, and the effect of the pages on the books, and the cat's fur with his little necklace. So that's one of my finishes. And Luna's decided to get in on the action. But yeah, this is one of my finishes. I won't say the last one I finished because it's not. It's my second last finish of the year. So that is Cute Witch, available at my Bobbin. Then the next one is Autumn Door by Petunova. Again, this is available on my Bobbin. There is Saga files available for this if you have Cross Stitch Saga. So I started this with the paper copy, and then I moved over to Cross Stitch Saga, and it was much easier to stitch once I did that. So there is a series of these doors, and this is the first one, the Autumn Door, that I've stitched. So there's the other seasons as well, which I'm not sure I'll stitch all of them, but I think I'll stitch the spring one for definite. I was really drawn to the colours on this one, the kind of smoky greys against the blue of the door, and the autumn foliage colours, the oranges and browns. Again, quite intensive back stitching on this piece, but nothing too demanding really. It's quite straightforward back stitching, just quite a lot of it. So that is the second finish that I had. Then this one here was my work project. I can't remember the name of it. It's another Petunova design. Maybe Easter Chick, or maybe that's just the name I gave it. I'm not sure. But yeah, it didn't get finished at work because I just don't have time at work. I get minimal stitches in each day, maybe 25 to 50 stitches, because I have quite a busy job, and breaks are, I mean, my breaks are only half an hour long, and that's if they're a full half hour, which mostly they're not. But it is another finish nevertheless. So that's my third finish. And then I have this one here, which is an anchor design. It's a little out of shape at the moment because it's been on the frame for too long. This is Anchor Field Mice. It was a very difficult stitch. I've mentioned it before, the back stitch on anchor patterns is a little ridiculous, and clearly there was a lot of this back stitch on this design. So the back stitch, if you don't know, if you're new to my videos, anchor back stitch is kind of fractional back stitch. It goes through the center of stitches at times. Quite often it's just not straightforward, and because there's so much of it, this really took some time but I do like the finished result. I won't say it's 100% as per the pattern. You know, if I thought the back stitch didn't need to pierce the centre of a stitch, then I didn't do it. There's quite a lot of French knots in this piece as well, in the middle of the daisies. But overall, yeah, I am happy with it, even though I didn't particularly enjoy stitching the back stitch. It probably would have been a lot easier if I had done the back stitch as I went along, but I was using it at the time for a challenge group and I just didn't have time for back stitch, so I'd left it. Something I'm going to really focus on not doing it again, because it did really ruin the enjoyment of the piece. But that is that one, and then I've got one final finish, which you won't have seen this one because it was a work project. This is something I bought from Etsy, and it is a little winter penguin. I was going to, so on the last video that I had, I gave a few suggestions for my next work project, and I did kit up the little fox that people, most people decided was the stitch that they wanted to see. So that is set to go, but I left it so long before I got around to doing any stitching at work that it was, you know, December. So I started this on December the 1st, and I finished it, I think, shortly before Christmas Day. But that is my last finish of the year. I wish I'd finished more pieces. I had 2 more pieces that I was hoping would be finished, but it's an improvement on last year because I didn't finish anything last year. So that's okay. I'll have 2 pieces next year that are almost finished, and I will show you those in my WIP Parade. Okay, so the next section is going to be my purchases. Not all of these have been purchased recently, but I do have 3 recent ones, and the rest were purchased probably way back at the beginning of the year, but I've just not shared them yet. So the recent ones then are 3 kits by Magic Needle. This is the first one. It's called White Heron, and I just think that is gorgeous. It's on, well, it's 10¼ by 10¼ inches. There's 32 colours, and it's on 16 count Ada, so I'll probably replace that with 32 counts. Then I have 2 others by Magic Needle that kind of go together, also on 16 count Ada. So this is the first one. I just think that's gorgeous. I really do love winter scenes. And that one is called The Breath of November, and the piece that I think goes with it is this one here. Another winter scene, this time with some ducks, and that one is called Early Winter. Then pieces that I've purchased throughout the year that I've had for some time, but I've not shared them yet, so I'm going to share these now. I can't remember the name of the company for this one because it's in Russian, but I bought 2 swan kits. This is one of them. This is the first one I bought. And then another piece that goes with it, also a swan, is this one here. So I really do like swan designs. I've got several now. Perhaps I should stitch one of them at some point. Then I have this one. Again, it's in Russian, so I'm not 100% sure on the manufacturer of this kit. But this is a little kitten with some wool. Then I have a couple of Riolis kits. This one is the Andalusian horse. which may be on my list for new starts for 2026. I believe it is the Chinese New Year of the horse. Not that I ever stitch anything in line with the Chinese New Year, but it seems quite fitting, so maybe I'll start that one. And then I have this one, which is Eastern Fairytale, this one is called. And this is a peacock, which I just really liked the design of this one. They do a parrot as well, and I'm quite tempted by that, but I have a huge amount of kits. Then I have some Luca-esque kits. So this is the chicken, and these come with a hoop to frame them. And I also got the cockerel to go with that. And these are 16 counts, both of them, yep, 16 count fabric. Then I've got this one, which is also a horse one, which has crossed my mind to start this one as well for Chinese New Year. I just think this is beautiful, and I don't know whether it's been discontinued or not, but I got it at a really reasonable price, quite heavily discounted, I think for about £12. So there's that one, full coverage, 16 count fabric again. And another Luca S, this is 16 count, it's called the Northern Lights. I was really drawn to the colours on this one. And a final Luca S, this one is called The Adventures of the Little Ones. And I really thought this was pretty. I love things with pink and little animals and birds and things, so that's that one. Again, 16 count, and then the last two are the Nart designs. So this one has been on my wish list for the longest time, and it's a floral staircase. I'm not sure what it's called. It doesn't seem to have a name anywhere. Maybe it is called Floral Staircase. It's 10.8 by 14.8 inches. I'm not really sure what fabric it's on. I think it's on linen. And then the last one is this other Nart kit with bullfinches and a nest. So that is probably everything I'm going to be buying for a long time, because I have so many kits and so many charts that yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to limit what I buy. But as I say, a lot of these were bought at the start of the year and I've just not shared them yet, apart from those 3 magic stitches which I bought just before the Christmas period. Alright, that's all my kits, so I'll see you in the next section. So in no particular order, these are my current WIPs. The first of which is Merejka's December. This was a 2020 Stitch Mania start. There's not a huge amount of progress on this piece, but I'm really happy with what I've done so far. I do love Merejka, and I've got quite a lot of kits by Merejka that are ready to go. I'm just stopping myself from starting them because I really want to finish the ones that I've already started. So there's this one and Daffodils, which you'll see shortly. But it's so pretty. Long way to go on this one though. So that's the first one. Then we have Abris Art Fairytale Town. I'm not going to unravel well, maybe I'll do a little bit. I'll unravel a little bit from this one. It's a huge project. I think it's almost, well, around 5 foot long when it's completed. It's on 32 count fabric. But I put in a massive amount of stitches on this year. So you can see how long it is if I unravel it all the way. It's probably not the clearest way to see it, but I do have other videos where you can see the progress on this piece. So all the way to here. I'm just coming up to my favourite part of the project, which is the little horse on the bridge over the water. I did put in 50,000 stitches this year as part of a online challenge, which took me all the way from this house here all the way to here. There is 23,000 stitches left to go, so quite a number of stitches still to go on this one. I worked out that if I stitched 100 stitches a day, I could probably finish it in 2026. Then this one here is a dimensions piece called Simple Treasures. This is one of the pieces that I thought I would be able to finish this year, but not quite. So I've got around 2,000 stitches to go, plus backstitch. So I should be able to do it quite comfortably this year. I have been working on it today, which is the 31st of December. But there's absolutely no chance whatsoever that I'd get all the stitching done and the back stitch as well, so it will be a finish for 2026. The next piece is a Mirabilia. This is Royal Holiday, and it's about 3,000 stitches away from completion. Again, this is the second piece that I really hoped I would finish this year, but not to be, unfortunately. So next year it should be a finish. Alongside the stitches, there's obviously a lot of beads to go into this piece as well, so it will take a fair amount of time, but not too much time. And this is on a hand-dyed, dyed by me fabric, just with some denim RIP dye, fairly diluted, so it's a kind of smoky blue colour on 28 counts Zweigart fabric. Then we have another 2020 start for Stitch Mania. This has not been worked on at all. It is Dimensions Mason Jar lineup, and I'm hoping that I will pick this piece up next year and get a lot more done than this. Again, this is on a 28 count Zweigart rather than the kit fabric. And then we have yet another 2020 start. This is Teresa Wentzler's The Castle. Again, virtually not worked on this year. I think I've picked it up maybe once or twice for online challenges, but not very much progress. Got the dragon's head done, a little bit of his neck, but I really haven't worked on it this year. The next project I have is an anchor kit. This is, I forget the name of this one. Oh, Waiting for Neptune. It has the typical horrible fractional backstitch from anchor charts, but When I picked this one up last, I disregarded the anchor back stitch and just did my own for the flowers, and it looks fine. So it's not too bad to stitch on, but I've got to be honest, it's not one that I look forward to stitching on just because it's anchor and I know what to expect. The design itself, however, is beautiful with mermaids, and I would like to see it finished at some point. But for this year, this coming year, for 2026, I think I'm going to put it into timeout because I only really want to have one anchor cross stitch at a time, and I've got another one that is a bit further on and that I'd like to see finished first. So you'll see that one in a minute. The next project is a Dimensions. It is on a hand dyed fabric, dyed by myself in a very similar colour to the original fabric, but this is a 28 count even weave rather than the Ada that was in the kit. I'd really like to see this one finished this year. I think it's probably about 30% done, 30 to 40% complete. So that is Parisian Bicycle, it's called. Then we have this one, which is a Merejka design. Again, on my own fabric. This time it's a Zweigart fabric. I didn't dye this one. Very similar colour to the kit fabric. It's a kind of smoky blue colour. And this is just called Daffodils. And it's been around for, gosh, probably 5 years. So I really want to get this one finished. Hopefully in 2026. It is on the list for a 2026 finish. I think it's at about 45%, something like that, but it's so beautiful. The daffodils look so realistic, and I really love the tinges of purple on them. Such a great design. So there's that one. I am actively stopping myself from working on any other Merejka pieces or starting new Merejka pieces until that one's finished. This is an RTO kit. It was part of Stitch Mania 2020. It has not really been worked on very much. It's called Wolf. It's a gorgeous design. You can't really see very much from what I've stitched. That is just the beginning of the moon and some background, but there is obviously a wolf in the design. Again, something that I'd quite like to have finished in the next year. And now that I've finished quite a few outstanding pieces, that might be possible. And the final one is an anchor piece. This is called Country Life. It's such a beautiful piece. I really love the sepia tones of the outside designs. There's a colourful cockerel in the centre of this design, which I can't wait to get on with, but I'm making myself stitch at least half of the sepia designs first, and obviously it's got that horrible back stitch, so it's yeah, this is the reason that I'm putting the mermaid piece on timeout for now for this next coming year, because I want to get this one done, and one anchor piece at a time is enough for me. And that is all of my projects. So I've gone from previously having 35 WIPs down to I think about 11 WIPs at the moment. So there are lots of new starts on the cards for 2026. I'm going to share some of those with you in the next segment so that you can see and hopefully have your feedback on what you would like to see on my channel. As always, I intend to keep up with it and do a monthly Flosstube. We'll see how that goes. You know, life is busy. I do multiple other things. So in some ways, I'm not sorry that I didn't keep up with my Flosstube. I did lots of other projects that I really wanted to achieve last year. I spent a lot of time in my garden, etc. But we'll see. The intention is always there to keep up with it. and you know, you can't do everything. You can't have multiple hobbies and expect that you can spend time with all of them when you work full time as well. Roll on retirement, hey. But anyway, let me know if you favour any projects over others. I am going to have a new start this year. I've got one day to go and I'm still not completely decided, but I'll show you some of those kits. Alright, projects that I may possibly start next year. So, as you might know, I've got quite a lot of projects and I've spent the last few years whipping down. So I've only got, 10, 11 whips at the moment. From, I think my highest was about 35, something like that. Which 35 is too many for me. I didn't enjoy that. And I don't want to get massive amounts of new starts, but I do want to start some new things for 2026. So the first one then, my New Year New Start. These are the possible contenders. There's quite a few. So let me tell you the most likely one first of all. Yeah. So this is the one that at the moment I'm most drawn to. It's just got such gorgeous colours and it's quite different to anything I'm stitching currently. So that's the first one. But I'm also considering, I guess the next two closest contenders might be this one here, which is King of the Flowers. So the first one's called Water Lily. This one's called King of the Flowers. And again, I really love the colours on this. So that's the second one. And then there's this one, which I absolutely love this. And the only reason this is not a top contender right now is because it's on 20 count Ada. And somewhere in the back of my mind that means it's going to be really quite tricky to stitch. I don't know if that's the case or not. I guess I don't know until I try. And I've thought about putting it on a different fabric, but then it worries me that, because I prefer it on a 28 count or a 32 count. But if I put it on a 32 count, that's equivalent to 16. That's considerably bigger holes than a 20 count. And therefore, would I run out of thread? I don't know. So that's kind of the hesitation on that. I may start that one later in the year and do something else, my New Year New Start, because I want something that's going to be a nice, easy, straightforward stitch. Then the other two contenders are these two. So tulips, because it's going to be springtime shortly. I mean, it will be spring, summer and autumn by the time I get stitching it, let's be honest. But so that's a possible contender. And then its companion piece, Peonies, is also a contender. So if you had to, oh hang on, there's two more. I also pulled out two Lynart kits. So this one is Apple Blossom. You might be able to see a theme here, they're all flower themed. Apple Blossom, or the watercolour fuchsias. Right, so if you had to choose one between those, what would you choose for a New Year, New Start? Would it be fuchsias, Apple Blossom, peonies, tulips, roses, pink roses, peonies, or water lily? So that is option 1. I do want to start a floral piece. I don't know why. That's what I want to do for the New Year, New Start. Then at some point in the year, I will talk about this because it's year of the Chinese New Year of the Horse. This is on the cards. Hesitation with this one is it's on black, and I've never stitched on a dark fabric. But if I'm not going to do it, why have I bought it? So that one is somewhere in the new year, possibly. Then I do want to do a Christmas piece because I've got so many Christmas or winter kits. So the contenders there. This one is probably the favourite. Again, look at S. This one is Christmas wood. I just think that's so pretty. Lots of white to stitch, but I think it'll be worth it. So there's Christmas wood, or there's the Santa one. This is called the Warmth of Friendship. I love how much glare I'm getting. So the Warmth of Friendship. There we go. I think that's a bit better. Which is just gorgeous. Or this one, which is, I guess, more winter themed than Christmas themed. But this is Birdhouse. And I think that might be all the winter ones that I've pulled. Well, there's one more actually, but to me it's more autumn. Oh yeah, there's this one actually. This is a Riolis printed kit, and this is Cranes. So out of the 4 winter ones, what would you choose? So we've got Cranes, Birdhouse, Santa, and Christmas wood. So again, let me know what would be your preference, because I guess after all, you're the people watching it. So it doesn't mean I'll take any notice of your preference, but I mean, I can't decide at the moment. Then I guess the others are a bit more random then. Just things that I'm thinking I might do. So this one, oh, it is autumn. Okay. All right, this one. This is the one I was going to say is more winter, only because of the snow, but it is called the autumn. So this is another one. This is also Lucrece. So that may feature at some point, but a lot of these projects are big, full coverage, and I probably don't want too many of those. Then, providing I finish a Merejka, like the Daffodils, I think I'm starting one of the cat ones. So either the summer one, what's this one called? Oh yeah, Summer Afternoon. So that one, or the autumn one. Gosh, the glare is ridiculous. Hang on, let me see. Is that any better? No, of course not. I'm not even sure you can see that very well. But anyway, so summer or autumn cat is the decision on those. What would you like to see the most? Then, oh yeah, this one as well. It's always on the cards to do because I think it's beautiful. And it never gets chosen because other things are more colourful. But anyway, if you'd like to see the swans at some point, let me know. Oh yeah. I do need to start at some point a new marginal basting. So there's 3 contenders, but one of them is only a pattern, so it's not kept with my kits and I forgot to bring it. But one of them is the spring sampler. I'll put a picture in. So the spring sampler, I'm not even sure that's what it's called. Then there's this one here, which I'm sure I've seen this called At the Water Pipe or something like that, but on here it's called Garden Bounty. So there's that one as well, and this one which is called No Vacancy. So I'm probably going towards this one or Garden Bounty, because the spring sampler one is another huge one, and it would be nice to have something that, you know, I've got some chance of finishing sometime soon. Then I'm not sure. See, this could have been on my, I considered this for my New Year New Start as well. This is RTO grape wine. I think that's what it's called, is it? Yeah. So I also brought this one down, which is Pink Dreams. So out of the 2 RTO, grape wine or Pink Dreams, let me know. What would you rather see? And then I hope you're watching with pen and paper, because you're going to need it. Oh yeah, there's a couple more RTO. Apparently, more than a couple more. Okay. So I also brought down this one, which is one of the Among Black Cats series. Just because, well, both of these ones, the 2 that I've got, remind me of my old cat Maggie, who's no longer with us. So, yeah. There's this one as well, which is a little kitten on books. Now this one, I kind of pulled this one because it's a bit smaller. And I suppose this one as well, there's not that much stitching on that. So I was thinking about, you know, having some smaller things as well. Although I've just finished Cute Witch, which is essentially a kitten sat on books. So I'm not sure, but it's very different. And this RTO as well. So I've got Black Cat, Kitten on Books, and this one's called Among Silver Dandelions, but rabbit, bunny, I don't care what you call it. And then this one, which I love this one, and I hadn't even taken any notice of this one until my friend Laura at I Stitch Birds, we started stitching it, and then I had to get it. So there's the robin as well. The robin's really pretty. This is why I can't decide, obviously, because I've got too many nice things. So let's say again, we've got Kitten on Books, Black Cat, the rabbit, or the robin. And I guess, oh gosh, then we've got, I forgot, these 2 are both RTO, the Pink Dreams and Grape Wine. I don't know, Grape Wine is really pulling me. But, you know, I'll probably change my mind 10 times by the time I'm actually stitching anything. Then, okay, these are just random. So I pulled this London one. I've got London Cityscape and I've got Paris as well, but I pulled this one. I'm just trying to think about a variety of colours, so I don't think anything else that I've pulled has really got too much red in it, if any. So there's London, or there's this one looks stunning, but it also looks really detailed, and I think it's quite big, and it's full coverage. Well, both of those are full coverage. So this is Sunrise by the Sea. And then the last ones I really want to start this one. This is a magic needle, and I've acquired quite a few magic needle now, so I should start one. This is the first one I got, Entrance to the Garden. So I think that could be on the cards. And then I don't know why this one's open, probably because I've opened it. Either this one, which is Strawberries by Luca S. Is that what it's called? Still Life with Strawberries is what it's called. Or this one, which is Plums. They look so real. So, they're my choices at the moment. Of course, it can completely change. I do want to do a Madame Lafille one as well, one that's already kitted up, but I think I showed that in a couple of videos ago. And I forgot to bring it down anyway. And I'll probably want to start a Mirabilia once I finish Royal Holiday. And I think it's between, well, I say Mirabilia, Fancy Lady. So it's either between Lavender and Lace, Angel of Love, which is the one with all the metallic and beads, or Princess Ileana, but I don't have fabric for her, so I'll have to dye some fabric for her, or the Aquamarine Fairy, the March Aquamarine Fairy. Is that what it is? March Aquamarine Fairy? Yeah, I think those ones it's between at the moment. Or I guess the other one is Dressmaker's Daughter. That's huge. So I'm trying to have a combination of things that are quite big and some things that are a little smaller. And most of my projects are pretty big, so nothing's going to get finished super fast. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed seeing those. Let me know any projects that you'd like to see from the sort of loose categories I've put them in. Some aren't really in a category at all, but that's okay. I just thought that'd be nice to share those and to have some input from somebody else, particularly the New Year, New Start, because that's tomorrow. Alright, I think that is everything. So have a wonderful New Year, and I wish everybody good health and everything that you want for the New Year. Alright, bye bye.